Well met, Knights of the Order. This is Muscle and Magicka, and this is Charizard, and this is Ganondorf, and you, my friend, just accepted a quest. Welcome back to the official second Q&A of Muscle and Magicka. And don't worry, you didn't miss any Instagram posts or anything like that. I actually decided rather last minute to throw together this video consisting of a few random questions I've gotten mainly in the YouTube comments over the past few weeks, primarily because I'm about to go out of town for a little over a week for filming, and I wanted to stay on top of the content and make sure I had videos to go up so that you guys wouldn't notice the difference. However, make sure to keep an eye on the Instagram page because I do plan to continue to host these Q&As if and when they continue to happen on the Instagram page in the future. Speaking of filming, the first question comes from Smooth Blue Hero, and he asks, can you show some clips of you acting in commercials/shows? Blue, I can absolutely do that. Now the thing you have to keep in mind is that oftentimes when I get paid to do commercials, I will either never receive the footage, or I may end up getting cut from the commercial entirely, or I may get cast as random guy in the background, such as during this particular Crunch Fitness commercial. Or better yet, I may end up getting cast as blurry guy in the background, such as in this Imperial health commercial. However, I did work on a commercial just recently that I was fairly prominently featured in, so I'll go ahead and attach that entire commercial to the end of this video, so stick around if that's something you're interested in seeing. I may go ahead and throw in a clip or two from some various independent films that I've worked on also, just because I find that work significantly more rewarding even though it typically pays a lot less. Second question comes from Sir Manuel Gottwald, who asks, if you weren't an actor, what would you be? Honestly, man, well, I don't mean to sound cheesy or cliche when I say this, but I'm really doing the two things that I love most to do between acting and nutrition/fitness/personal training. I mean, I guess there's gaming. Now, obviously, between acting and personal training, I would like to be farther along and more successful with both of those things. But if I had to pick one thing that I don't currently do, if I had to pick one thing, it would probably be an astronaut, believe it or not. I've always been entirely captivated by space and everything relating to it, so if I had to pick one thing, I kinda wish I had gone to school to be an astronaut. Total War Chronicles wants to know, what programming have you been following so far? You know, the vast majority of progress that I have made as a recreational bodybuilder has been when I was a bro. And in fact, I plan on making a video at some point on the benefits of being a bro. However, since I have become more enlightened, if you will, I've really only been on one program, and that is a full-body novice program focusing on heavy compound barbell movements for 5x5 and then with some 3x8 accessory lifts. Now, the truth is I have been plateauing and haven't really made any significant progress on that program for quite some time now. However, I'm extremely stubborn. I have refused to jump off of the program for a couple of reasons. One, I haven't really wanted to change programs while I was cutting. Two, I just don't think that my lifts quite qualify me for intermediate status. And that's just something in my own head that I have to get over because my body doesn't lie. You know, the progress or the lack thereof doesn't lie. So I really do need to hop on something a little bit more intermediate, and I will probably do so relatively soon. And in fact, my good friend and Saiyan brother Jay Physique, aka Jay Kakarot, has kindly offered to write my next program for me, and I've taken him up on that. So I will be sure to let you know all the juicy details when the time comes. When the time comes for Mulatto Rants to make him some more strength gains. Proud paladin of Muscle and Magicka Alex asks on Instagram, how lean do you usually stay with intermittent fasting? Alex, not very lean, and that's not the fault of intermittent fasting, that's just because I'm a fat kid at heart and I have a relatively high body fat set point, I think, and I just have a hard time getting lean anymore. I did it once, I got ultra lean, and that was pretty much enough for me. Ever since then, it's been much more trouble than it's worth trying to get back to those levels of leanness. And honestly, I don't really have any reason to. I lift primarily recreationally, and also to support my acting and to allow me to tell the kinds of stories on screen that I want to tell. But it just doesn't seem worth it for me at this point. Now maybe later on down the line, if I have a little bit more muscle mass to show for it, then I may try once again to return to quite lean status. But until then, I'm going to continue to enjoy my 10 to 12% at the very leanest do you even lift bra status. Porcelain Digits wants to know, what's your opinion on the remake of Final Fantasy VII, namely the inclusion of a seemingly mostly real-time combat system? Let me level with you here. I have not played nearly as much Final Fantasy as I would like to have played because I grew up mainly a Nintendo family, so we didn't have PlayStation. The only two Final Fantasy entries that I have really played, are Final Fantasy Tactics Advance 2 and Final Fantasy XI Online, the latter of which a lot of people debate as to whether or not it's really even a legitimate Final Fantasy entry. It is to me. However, if I were to put myself in the shoes of a Final Fantasy fan, I would be kind of on the edge, man. I would not like the idea of them taking what is traditionally a classic turn-based RPG and turning it into a real-time combat. However, it's a double-edged sword because on the other hand, I would be really happy that people are getting the chance, people who didn't play the original Final Fantasy VII, are getting the chance now to experience it with the remake. It's kind of like my personal feelings towards Skywind. I hate the thought of Skywind because it's not an accurate representation of Morrowind in Skyrim. It's just not the same thing, but at the same time, it makes me happy that people, it's best that people will at least get to experience Morrowind in some way, shape, or form. Isn't it? Sir Conchabar asks, who, in your benevolent opinion, holds a stronger claim to Skyrim, us Nords or the milk-drinking Imperials? And I'm going to ignore that part about Falmer swine. This is actually a sequel question to a question that was asked in the last Q&A, and this is a very difficult question for a Falmer to answer. I mean, on the one hand, you've got Nords, who are our mortal enemies, who literally committed genocide upon our entire race. Now, I will admit that we may have had some hand to play in starting that war, the Night of Tears. However, even then, those Atmorans were hiding shit from us on our own land, hiding our own shit from us on our own land. However, my personal feelings about the Nords aside, I think that Imperials represent a much, much greater threat to not only snow elves, but to elvenkind in general, and if our version of events is to be believed, to the world, to Tamriel, to Mundus. So I believe I would have to swallow my pride and my personal issues and stand with the Stormcloaks. However, if you really want to know the answer to that question, you're probably going to have to just wait until I get some issues with my PC sorted out and start the saga of the Snow Prince to find out which side I actually end up joining. Now, before I end with those clips, let me go ahead and take one last question off of Instagram and see what I can find. Love it! We talked about this. Okay. Just find another question. I'll just find another question. Great pick. Check out my profile for some fitness pictures. You think this is fucking funny? Listen to me. Let me tell you this. I better not ever
fucking see you come to an expo or a powerlifting meet or any event I'm at. Do not fucking show up. You understand me?
When you built the best product in the market, there's one goal. Get it into as many hands as possible. Grow business. The world's most successful brands thrive in a global economy, but translation alone is not enough. The traditional way to create resonant content simply doesn't work for ambitious companies that care about speed, accuracy, and customer experience. So we decided to get smart. Look, translation strategy is no longer optional.
It's a major pain.
It's not easy.
And consumers around the world, across all languages, cultures, and markets, are demanding a native brand experience. Smartling's global fluency platform allows us to achieve that at scale.
Ensuring our brand's creative messaging, content, and images resonate with customers is my team's top priority. Before Smartling, the entire marketing team was swimming in a sea of translation spreadsheets. It was an absolute dumpster fire.
Let's not forget the time the tagline on the website ended up saying something.
Yeah, but all of that stopped once we started using Smartling. Now I easily create custom workflows for translation and review processes, and our favorite translators edit in context.
So people in France don't think we're selling cheese cubes.
The Smartling Global Fluency platform gives my team access to insights we need to make smarter decisions.
And gets the product in customers' hands around the world
fast. Once we started using Smartling's superior technology, it was clear that the status quo no longer cut it. My team's priority is ensuring that any new software integrates seamlessly into our existing tech stack and works. With Smartling, we have an agile translation engine that does just that.
Now, people around the world engage in a truly native brand experience.
From the words on the page to the images on the site.
And because Smartling's global fluency platform makes it so easy, we have the resources to enter twice as many markets at a fraction of the cost.
Now I have time to work on that app you've been wanting, which I have also localized using Smartling.
No, not that one. The other one.
Yeah. No matter what we're creating, the global fluency platform allows us to resonate with people in every language, across all cultures, and in any market. With Smartling, we can be everywhere.